So we're going to have a look at kettlebell halos. You can see I've got my kettlebell here. You can use a different weight like a dumbbell or a weight plate if that feels better or you don't have a kettlebell, but I'm just going to demo with this because it's quite a nice prop to use. For our halo, we're going to hold the weight and then we're going to make a window by lifting one forearm above the head. We're then going to bring the weight behind and then we're going to make our window bringing the other forearm above the head and then back to the start. And when I lift behind, I want to stay in a range of motion that my shoulders will allow. I don't want to arch and lean back. So demoing with the weight, I am going to create my window and then I'm going to bring the weight behind my head. And then I create the other window and then I come back to the start. So as I'm doing this, I want to make sure that when the weight is behind, I'm in a position that I can control. So I feel like I can easily pull back to that position, that window. And I'm also making sure, again, like I said, that I don't arch my back. I let my shoulders go to an end range I can still control, and then I can easily come back out of it. So it gets its name because we're basically drawing a halo around the head, but we're working on moving our shoulders through these slightly unique positions under a little bit of load. So we're going to have a look at a kettlebell press. So this is essentially where we push the kettlebell overhead, but the kettlebell is upside down and we are holding and stabilizing the weight from the handle. So this is very different than a regular kettlebell push press because we have to work so much harder to balance the weight and keep everything stable as we are moving overhead. So this will work shoulder and scapular stability, but it will also work grip strength as well. So I recommend starting with quite a light kettlebell, and you want to get this set up for a push press, but in this position. So at the moment, my palm is facing to the left and the elbow is tucked in. From here, I'm going to push, press until it's overhead, keeping everything stable, and then I'm going to bring it back down. I'm doing this in a tall kneeling position simply because this room doesn't have enough height for me to press overhead in a standing position, but I recommend doing this standing. We want to think about really grounding the feet into the floor, squeezing the glutes and keeping the core super engaged. And then we're pressing up nice and slowly and controlling it back down. So it is not fast and explosive because if we do that, we risk the kettlebell balancing in a way that wouldn't be great. We also want to look at the kettlebell as we press up and then bring it back down. As you get more comfortable, you'll be able to look forwards and not watch the weight. But when you're first going, I really recommend watching your hand as you press up. And then same as a regular press, we are trying to finish with the wrist and elbow on top of the shoulder, everything nicely stacked, scapula and shoulders working together to stabilize. Grip is keeping things balanced, and we're just pressing, maintaining that good form.